I'm Nell.
And I'm KJ.
And we're the hosts of Millennial Talk. Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Millennial Talk. We're here with our co-hosts Courtney and Matt.
And today we're going to be talking about this new Netflix series that has a lot of controversy behind it called Insatiable.
Insatiable.
Oh, Insatiable.
So let's start this conversation by saying that I started watching the show and I was like, this is crazy. And then I tried to get them to watch it. And they weren't like trying to have it at first.
At all.
But then they watched it and watched the whole thing and then they were like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
It's like for you guys that are gonna watch, it's like the first few episodes you're like, I don't know. And then after that, I'm telling you, just keep going. Just keep
Warning, this show isn't for everyone.
Oh yeah.
going. It's really not.
It has like a little bit of everything in it.
It pushes
And when I say a little bit of everything, it has a little bit of everything that really pushes the limits of like
what should be on TV.
Yeah.
Like the controversy, the fat shaming thing was so minimal to everything else that happened on the show. Like it's like that.
So, are we gonna go ahead and do some spoilers?
I was going, well,
I don't know.
yeah,
Well, I
I
want to start by saying, because I know that when I originally brought this topic up in one of the shorts, you were under the impression that it was like a drama, like 13 Reasons. So I just want to clear it up that it's not a drama. It is a comedy, but it's like crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's supposed to be a comedy.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a comedy. It's not a drama. It's supposed to be funny, but it's like it's wild.
I feel like it's
wrong.
13 Reasons mixed with Pretty Little Liars mixed with whatever comedy you can think of.
Okay.
You see, it has like the humor. You have to have a certain like personality, a certain type of like, what's the word? You have to have a certain type of,
I don't know.
Taste.
no, that's not what I'm
Acquired
looking for. Okay, well, you know, if you guys know what I'm saying, put it in the comments. I'm gonna bring it up later because I'm gonna figure it out. But you just have to have a certain thing about you that makes you attracted to those types of shows. And when I first started watching it, I was ready to click out of it after like the first episode.
I'm not gonna lie, I only
didn't like
started
it.
watching it because Debbie Ryan is in it and I'm a
Give
fan
a little.
of
We
Debbie
should
Ryan.
probably give him a background of the show.
Oh, okay. So the show is basically about this girl who's overweight and she's in high school and then she has this health condition, so she ends up losing all this weight and now she's like slim and like everybody thinks she's super attractive and she starts to get a little bit of, you know, popularity to her, and then she starts doing these pageants and she has like a coach that's helping her with these pageants, and as these two people have now met, the girl and the coach, you kind of are following them along what's going on in their lives, both when they're together and then when, you know, when they're living their own separate lives apart from each other. And their lives are just really, really crazy. So like she's 16-ish.
No,
and he's
17.
Like, 17.
She just
Turns
And he,
18.
oh yeah. She's
Yeah.
17, 18, and he's like, I'm gonna say somewhere around 40-ish.
Yeah.
So it starts off with her having like a crush on him, which then a lot of it's just
It's
crazy.
A whole lot of
Like that's where it
Chaos.
starts, and then it just goes so left from there.
Every episode goes
and
left.
south, and
And then it goes okay, and then it goes left again, and then it goes okay, then it goes
Like it's wild. It's really a wild show. It's probably the craziest show that I've ever seen. I don't think there's any show that I've ever watched before that has crammed in as much crazy stuff in 12 episodes as this show.
Yeah,
has
like
done.
I don't know what the plot is. Every time I'm like, what is the plot? What is the purpose?
Yeah, like,
What's happening?
every episode I forget that she's trying to be a pageant queen.
Yeah.
Because like
So many other things are happening.
I feel like
Because,
the
like-
writers forgot too.
yeah, it's kinda, and it reminds me of like back when I was in English, because my teachers used to always say you need to focus on like you make 3 main points, but then oftentimes I'm writing and I'm like, oh my god, this would be a good sentence, this would be a good sentence too, and they say, you know, I'm talking about Narnia and the paper's about how to go to school or like how to apply to school, and I'm just like, how did this happen? So it's just like that's kind of like where the show went.
It's almost like a sitcom or like a kids show where like, you know how like think about like Fairly Odd Parents, for
Family
example.
Guy.
Yeah, where it's like every episode is about something different, but it's like the same people. The stuff is it's like that, but it's like all in one show.
Yeah.
I
It's
love how
like
you said Family Guy though, because in Family Guy, chaos ensue. Then something normal happened. The chaos ensue.
That's what it
It's exactly like Family Guy.
it is kind of like Family Guy in a sense where it's like crazy, a bunch of crazy things are happening, but like all in one episode. And the things that are happening, they're like loosely related to each other. That's why I say it's kind of like a sitcom, because like when you watch the next episode of a sitcom, it's not like each episode is like related to the last episode.
Yeah.
Whereas like a drama, it's like you follow the series. Like if you're watching like How to Get Away with Murder, it's like every episode is like based on
Exactly.
previously on. Whereas a sitcom, it's like it could be June in one episode, and then it could be September another episode, and it's just kind of like all over the place.
Yeah.
That's how this show is, where it's like it feels like it's all over the place, but everything has taken place within like a month or so.
Yeah, and they all in like. Honestly, like everything that happens connects in some way, shape, or form.
But it's like if you were to try to draw it, it would be like
right. And like that's one thing that I was very happy about is because like although like when I was first watching the show, I'm like, okay, this stuff is all over the place. It all connected, and that's one thing I was happy about because that means they thought about it a little bit. They thought about like, okay, if I'm gonna go this direction, I'm gonna have to connect it back to something, and they found a way to do it. And I was very surprised at it.
It reminds me almost of like something like you said, like when you were in high school, like somebody like okay, imagine like sitting in a room, like being like in college or in high school, and you and your friends are sitting around the room and they're trying to like plan a show or a movie or a book or whatever, and everybody's like throwing out ideas. That's what it felt like. It was like everybody's idea like made it into the show. They just had to figure out a way to tie it and make it make sense.
Yeah.
Whereas like normally when everybody's like brainstorming ideas, you end up just picking the ones that make sense and kind of doing like this
Meshing it
cohesive, organized thing where it's like, no, we're gonna take everything and we're gonna force it to work.
And just throw it in there and see what happens. They gonna
It's
take
like,
debate.
at the end of every episode, it was always some dramatic stuff happening, like every single episode. And like it kind of reminded me of like Gossip Girl or something, because every episode in Gossip Girl, like something happened. It's really like that with any like show, like with Pretty Little Liars, with Teen Wolf, with Riverdale. Like every single, the end of every episode was like they're all the same. Like something crazy happens, something bad happens, something good happens. It's like, what's going to happen next? So it's like you want to watch the next episode. And I gotta admit, like when I already said, like when I first started watching it, I did not like this show at all. Like I was like, I'm gonna watch this show because we might talk about it on video.
That's the same thing I
And
did.
then-
See, I told you they weren't for it. They were not into it.
I was
at
like,
all.
this is whack. My mom came downstairs and looked at me like, what are you watching? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, because at the time I was like, I'm trying to finish Supergirl, and that was my excuse. I'm like, yeah, if I finish Supergirl, then I'll watch it. And then Supergirl ended, and I'm like, dang, now I gotta actually watch it. But then, like, I don't know, like at the end of the last episode, I kind of sat there for a minute, and I was like, I kind of actually like this show. And it wasn't because of like the things that happened in it. I mean, obviously it is, but it's just like, it was a lot funnier than I expected it to be. And I don't know, it made me laugh a lot. And like, I don't really laugh that much within like these types of Netflix shows and stuff like that. So the fact that it was actually having me crack up, and it did take me a while to like, here, what's her name again? Debbie Ryan. Debbie Ryan, like, use these words, because I'm like, she's a whole Disney Channel child. You're not supposed to be curse words and stuff. But like, watching her like evolve into this type of role, and then hear all the jokes that they had, it just made my life, because it's my type of humor.
Well, let's talk about some of the jokes, because I think that given where we are and the state of like wokeness that we're in 2018,
I hate that. I hate that. So
there were some jokes that I feel like I'm surprised there's not more controversy about this show, given some of the things that they said in this show.
The KKK thing, I was like, when he said that, I was like, oh, you can say that, like and it's just not gonna.
It was a lot of like
we're not
weird
talk
things,
about
and I was like,
in one of our old episodes, we talked about how like old shows were like that, like in Living Color, like they had no boundaries, no limits. They just went. And
I feel like that's what this show did.
Yeah, and
how they're not getting like as much like blowback from this.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're like just under the radar right now. I don't know why people aren't more upset about this. Like, I'm not saying that I'm upset. I'm just surprised that like Twitter is not going crazy.
It's
about
because
this.
like in the generation that we are now, I felt like, I think you said this already, but like we're soft now in this generation, to where like you can't say things to where somebody in the room, somebody in the room is gonna get hurt.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this show, I think, definitely teetered that line of saying some things that could be taken very offensive by certain demographics or groups, and I'm just wondering why there is not more talk about what's going on in this show.
I think what helps is that there was a joke aimed at everybody. There's a joke aimed at each minority group, at the majority group, right? The KKK joke, you have a joke about black people, a joke about gay people.
There was a joke about Asian people, I just can't remember what it was.
Oh, I remember, I was about to say it.
What was it? I forgot what
this is one of the jokes that they made about Asian people, but this is when they're doing the roast, and she said, I guess it wasn't really a joke, but they were doing the roast on Patty Bladell, which is Debbie Ryan, and Dixie, who is an Asian chick who's adopted, she goes, because everything's better than everything.
Is way better in China.
And I was just like, I kind of felt uncomfortable. I wanted to laugh.
I was like, ooh,
that's racist. And then I ended up just laughing. Just the fact that I had to think about it. And it's like, that's the age we live in now. It's just like, oh, that was funny, but like I don't want to offend anyone, so I'm not gonna laugh. But I'm gonna get back to my room. I'm about to crack up. So it's just like one of those moments, and it had a lot of those moments in there. And I think like in the comfort of your own home when we're watching it, we're cracking up. But like it's like if we were watching this in front of our diverse group of friends, it's just like, do I laugh at that joke or not?
Yes.
Still laughing about it. I'm still laughing.
Yeah.
I'm still laughing.
Because it's just like, and I guess that goes back to like our last episode of if you got to know your friend's personalities. Because it's just like if your friend is going to be okay with it, crack up. But if you know your friend get butthole over everything, you might want to save it for later.
I agree. So I think that this show had what's the word I'm looking for? It was misrepresented in the trailer. There were a lot of people that from the trailer, before the show even came out, we talked about this on the show before, they thought that this show was going to be like very like fat shaming because she goes from being like unpopular and a loser and she's overweight, and then she loses all this weight and now she's thin, and now she's popular and she's this glamorous whatever.
And they
her life is great.
those two.
Yeah, and I think that the show, first of all, the show is so much bigger than just that.
Yeah.
But from the trailer, that's all you really knew much about. But it's like, I think that the show, and I said this in a previous episode, it wasn't even so much that like, oh, if you're fat, then you're a loser, and if you're skinny, then you're popular and you're hot. I think the show was more so showing that even if you are skinny, you still could be a horrible person. You still can have a lot of terrible things happen to you.
Be very insecure.
Yeah, so it's like there's still a lot of like just like skinny doesn't make your life better.
Exactly.
I got the message of you can mess up so many times, but there's always going to be someone there for you to help pick you up and help you like get back on that right path. Even though Patty is evil and something's wrong with this girl,
she got her Bob.
there was always someone, like if it wasn't Bob, it was her best friend Brick. If it wasn't Brick, it was her best friend Nani. It was always someone.
Even sometimes her mom, towards the end, her mom would step in and help out.
Yeah, so it's just like no matter what happened, she always has someone to pick her up. And I think that not everyone has that in life, so it's just like appreciate what you have, because it kind of showed like she came from like the worst part to where like even though she lost weight, like when she was heavier, she was bullied, but she had people to pick her up. She had Nani all that time. When she lost weight, things still happened, and she always had someone to pick her up. So it's just like you need to look to those people in order not to make those bad choices anymore. Except for she just doesn't know how to learn.
She still made
keeps making bad choices.
Yeah, every episode it was always bad choices.
But I think that she was very much. I don't want to say she was very much a millennial, because that looks bad for all millennials.
She had a mental illness.
But that's what I was gonna say. She was very much the stereotype of what millennials are stereotyped to be in terms of us being like very entitled. Where it was like she would get mad when things didn't go her way because she felt like somebody. I guess because she was like fat her whole life and bullied and whatever. That now she felt like
her.
like because they were so mean to her. Like now you owe something to me, or I deserve this because of what I've been through, whatever. And it's like lots of people have been through worse than what you've been through, and they are not getting whatever it is that you're getting or what you think you should be getting. So for her, it was just weird seeing her being so in like title and thinking that she, that somebody owed her something or like she deserved something.
She's also very dramatic too. Very
like for example, like when what was the whole thing with with her and Bob? When she got
time.
All the time.
The time where he thought that he had a daughter, another daughter, that he didn't know about for 20 years, and then he goes, "I gotta find out Stella Rose is my daughter." And while she was at
that
the
was her name. Stella Rose was the mom.
I'm not Stella Rose. It's
no, it's not Dixie. I don't know what that girl's name was.
She was irrelevant.
Yeah.
Stella Rose's daughter.
Roxy, that was her name.
Roxy.
There you go, Roxy. I
gotta find out if Roxy is my daughter. And he's like, "Bob, you're supposed to be my coach. I'm at a pageant." And he's like, "Can't understand that, but like,
I also have a child."
Right,
but
I could possibly be a father to someone
her
else.
mom enabled it though. That's the thing. Her mom was also enabled it.
But it's just like she's about to be 18. Like what's right and wrong at that point. And it was like at that moment she's just like, it's about me right now, and it's
she
just
was
like
very selfish, very entitled, and she felt like she owned him or like he owed her something. And it's like he has a whole family.
We've all done that though.
Yes.
Especially at 18.
But I think that to the extent that she did it, hers was like kind of crazy. Like, it's one thing to think that you deserve something, but to think that you deserve somebody's time when they potentially have like a long lost child out there whose life they haven't been a part of for the last 20 years, like.
But I hear how she will always, after the fact, be like, oh, wait, I was being selfish.
But, like, but, like, the result of that, of him, like, leaving her on stage by herself, she goes, I'm going to break up your marriage.
Yeah.
Like, that's extreme. Like, because I have a daughter that I may or may not know, like, I don't know about, you going to break up my marriage?
And that's why I said I think she has a mental illness.
So that's why I was just like, yeah, we may have all, like, been that type of person, but none of us will ever go to that length.
Right.
It's just like, oh, you don't want to pay attention to me? I'm going to ruin your life. And it's just like, she's done it multiple times to where, like, if she didn't have things her way, she was like,
she would do something crazy.
Yeah, and like
when she got mad at Bob when she found Bob in the room, she went and in front of everybody like outed him. Like that's not cool.
However, I was just thinking about it, and if we're going by like certain dates that we said in our first episode, if she's 18 or 17, and this season came out this year, technically she's not a millennial. She's Generation Z.
I'm not sure if she's millennial or not. I don't know.
I don't want to claim her. She's not in our generation.
Matter of fact, she's not us.
Yeah, I don't know.
She's Generation Alpha.
She was a brat, basically. That's really what it came down to. She really is just a brat.
And I love when her friend called her out at the road. She was like, "You're just selfish. I've done everything for you." And then she tried to win her back, and it was still in a selfish intent. It's not gonna help.
Yeah.
I think that happened a lot, even with the thing that she did with, I don't know if it was Brick or if it was Christian, but it was something that she did, or maybe it might have even been Magnolia. She did something for one of them where she was like trying to help them.
Oh yeah.
But it was like the way she did it wasn't because you genuinely wanted to help them. It was like because this either would somehow benefit you, or because to make yourself feel better because of something else that you did that you shouldn't have done.
It was the whole thing where she said she had to do a selfless act in order for her to get baptized or whatever. So then she took Magnolia's boyfriend, and then she felt bad about it, so she tried to hook her up with Christian.
And then she wanted,
and then she's like, "Oh, I kind of want Christian."
And her mom told her, like, "You're stealing another boyfriend."
And I'm not sure who it was who enabled it, but she goes, "You deserve this. You deserve whatever you want because you went through a lot." She goes, "I do deserve."
It was her mom. Oh, after she told her she was being wrong, then she said, "You know what? You deserve it."
And then she's like, "I do deserve this. I'm gonna break up them again, and then I'm gonna take Christian now."
But it's like her whole intent in trying to get Magnolia and Christian together wasn't out of I want to help them, or I believe they belong together. It was, I stole your man, so I guess it's only right for me to find you a new man. Like, that's not.
And then I'm gonna go steal this one again.
You know the whole thing about the baptism though? The outfit that she was wearing
underneath
when she got baptized, I was like, what is she wearing?
Like, wait a minute.
I was like, you're in church. What are you doing?
Right.
I was like, it's red.
But then I was thinking about it, and I don't even remember what I wore to like my.
I don't either, but I know it wasn't a red bikini.
True. But it's just like, I guess like a lot of people when they get baptized,
I think I had on all black. I think I had on like a black t-shirt and black pants. I think they told you to wear like all black because it's a white garment that you wear.
You got baptized? 12
or something like that.
Oh, okay. Usually it's not for babies.
Yeah, what she had on was crazy. But like, I was just thinking about like, I guess not many people, I don't want to say not many people. I don't know many people who get baptized at such a late age.
Yeah.
I feel like it's because it has become a tradition to do it as a kid or a baby. But I think that if you do it at that age, like if somebody got baptized when they were 4 and you ask them like, do you remember it, or like what did it mean to you? At 4 years old, it doesn't mean anything. It's like I thought I was getting in the pool and then I didn't. Like it doesn't mean anything to you. But when you do it when you're like 12 or older than 12, 17. You have more appreciation for you. You can understand the significance of it because it's more so of what's the word I'm looking for? Like it symbolizes something. So if you don't understand what it is that you're symbolizing, then it's like, what was the point of doing it? And I think also, I don't know this exactly verbatim, but I want to think that there's something in the Bible that says something about. I remember this is what I was told. I didn't actually read this in the Bible, but I was told that when you turn 12, I think all the sins that you do before you were 12, like it goes on your parents' record or whatever, so like it's that they have to answer for it. But then once you turn 12, anything that you do from then on is now on like your record. That was like the analogy that I was giving, like a permanent record. Like it goes on your parents' permanent record until you turn 12, and then once you turn 12, now it's on your permanent record and you have to answer for it. So I think that's another reason why like 12 is the age, but I don't know that. I haven't actually read that in the Bible. That's just what I was told. Don't quote me. Don't at me.
Don't come for you.
Actually,
like, excuse me.
Don't at me.
Pastor Mike don't come for you. But with I don't know, like I was also thinking of like where Patty's from, because her mom was probably like, yeah, it's probably like you just go and swim, and so you wear your bathing suit and you go down in the water and you come up and you're a new person. But
okay, so the fact that you just put on that accent to try to talk like Patty's mom, am I the only person that noticed that like not everybody that was supposed to be from there had an accent? Like Debbie Ryan did not have an accent in the whole show, but her mom did.
Yeah.
And she was from the area, and like Magnolia didn't, but her mother and her father both did. So it's like, what's going on with was that on purpose?
Well,
or?
accents are fading for younger people because of like the mass media.
I was very confused about that.
Yeah. I would say you have a lot of people who don't adopt those accents from who don't adopt the accents from their parents. Like
But it's not even like from their parents, like
the people that they're around.
Yeah.
It's like I lived in Georgia for a good while, and then when I came over from Stevenson, whenever I told somebody I'm from Georgia.
But you got away from it. Patty still like lives there.
Yeah.
She grew up there. She was born there. She lives there
but
now.
Even when I was there, I still spoke like this.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's like it didn't really change me. My brother spoke that way, and I still don't really know why, but it's just like,
It's been his friends, you know.
Yeah, but like my friends, they have deep accents. Yeah, but it's just like I can if I wanted to, but I guess I know my true voice, and my true voice, I don't have a country accent.
It was just something that I noticed because like all the kids on the show talk normal, like Brick, Christian, Patty, Magnolia. The only ones that had an accent was Dixie and Roxy. Those were the only two.
And what's crazy is Dixie was adopted.
Dixie.
And she was from China. Like
her accent was thick. She had
the thickest accent of everybody.
Even like what's the other boy's name? Like Nani didn't have one, and what was the Asian guy's name that was friends with Nani?
Cho.
Yeah, none of them had accents. Only Roxy and Dixie did, and they were both like the bad guys. See, they were like the villains of the show.
So I guess everybody was a villain in this country.
What'd you say?
Everybody who had an accent was the villain, I guess.
Yeah.
Except for Debbie Ryan.
She didn't have an accent.
You said who wasn't?
Everybody who has an accent was the villain.
That's what she said.
Think about it.
Oh, I was thinking the other way around. I don't know.
Oh yeah, other way around, because Debbie really was the villain.
Yeah.
Debbie is like the what is the word?
I've been using her.
What's the word?
Patty was the villain.
Whatever.
Debbie's the actress.
What was the word where it's called? What's the difference? Is it protagonist?
It's
antagonist.
No, I'm saying what's like the antagonist is the bad one, but protagonist.
Yeah.
She was both.
Yeah.
She played both characters.
I don't know how you do that.
She's bipolar.
She reminds me of somebody I know.
Wait, what?
Interesting.
Okay.
Reminds me of someone I know.
We'll spill that tea later when the cameras aren't rolling, I guess.
You know who I'm talking about.
I probably do. I mean, there's a name that
I know
comes to
some
my mind,
anti-heroes. This roster.
Look at his face. He's like,
she was like, you know how they say like I'm my own worst enemy? She literally was like the definition of being your own worst.
It's like as soon as she would do good, 2 seconds later,
but it's like
bam.
It's I don't know, like I really think that she has like some type of demon inside her, because every time she did something bad, like most people like who did something bad, they'd be like, yeah, I did it. But right after she did it, she'd be like, oh my god, I can't believe I did that. Like she's two different people.
With the demon, when they had that episode, all that stuff started happening. I was like, no, was there a demon in her? Because like all the stuff, like the lights
so
and then the convulsions and the vomiting. I was like, that don't happen to normal people.
I mean, she ate like 50 Post-it notes. I'd probably throw up
I forgot about that.
Like,
She did.
what?
She did.
Oh,
it's just that moment that she chose to throw up. I was like, that was a weird moment.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So Insatiable is crazy.
It is.
It's not for everyone. But I do think you should give it a watch. Try to watch it. Try to get to the first 3 episodes.
I would say try to get through the first 5. Like if you can get through the first 5, then you might as well just finish because it's only 10,
12.
right? Or 12.
It's 12.
So it's like once you get through like episodes, because when I first talked to you guys about it, I was on episode 4, and I was still very like confused and like this show is weird. But then I decided, like, I was like, I'm already here, I might as well finish it. But like, if you don't really get, like, if you only try to watch like the first 2 episodes, you're probably gonna be like, this is dumb, I'm not gonna watch it.
The
like,
first episode, I watched it. it, and then I walked away, and then I came back 2 days later. So I understand. Just please try to watch it.
There are certain episodes that have like a really like when I say plot twist.
Yeah.
I was like, yo.
Yeah.
Who wrote this?
Episodes like
It's like the last 4 episodes.
Yeah, it's
like it was like plot twist.
It's like the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what?
I was like, what is happening? And it's just like, I'm trying to, hold on to the doggone, but it's like a roller coaster.
That's one thing I will say. Like, whoever wrote this show, I will commend them because it's not one of those shows. I'm not going to say it's not one of those shows you can't predict because there were a couple things where it's like, oh, this is going to happen. But it's it's just like, wait, what? And they kind of, it was nice that they kind of gave you something new or different to look forward to, I guess, if that makes sense, where it's like, it wasn't just like this cookie cutter show, this show that you could predict. It was a show that had something crazy or something different, something unexpected every single episode.
And that kind of goes back to where it's just like people are probably throwing ideas, and they try to connect everything. And then they put it all in these episodes, and it worked because we were just sitting here and all like, I can't believe it just happened. And it was like a couple times where I had to pause it. I had to take a break. And I had to text somebody.
I was like, wait, I can't do this right now.
Oh my god.
It was a stressful time.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
If you had to give it like stars, how many stars would you give it?
Are we talking about out of 5 or 10?
Yeah, 5.
Okay.
I want
5.
I say 4.
Definitely 5 for creativity.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, creativity, yeah.
Like 4.
I would give it a 3 for acting because some of the actors in there were just so bad.
I feel like that was intentional.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but then I was thinking like, is it like a kind of like the Office type thing? Where,
I want to say the
they're
Office.
bad on purpose.
If you ever seen like Secret Life of American Teenager, all those people in that show when I was younger, I knew they could act because I just like Molly Ringwald. I know for a fact she can act. But the acting in that show was so awful. Yeah. I don't know why a lot of us watched it.
So I wasn't sure if it was purposeful or not, but like, if not, 3. But the overall show, I'd give it like a 4.5. Close to a 5. Like, the reason why I'm giving it 4.5 to almost a 5 is because I went into the show with it having a no rating. Like, you just gonna get a review from me. You're not even gonna get like a star. And then like every episode, I was like, okay, you just went up a half star. Oh snap! Okay, I'm cracking up right now. I like this, and then I just loved it. So, good job.
You did good.
So if you guys want to know more about what it is that we're talking about, we try not to give away too many spoilers because we don't want to like ruin the show for anybody who hasn't seen it yet. So if it seemed like we were kind of like talking in code or we didn't go into depth like that,
way more.
Yeah, like because there's a lot of like like you said, like you gave it a 5 for creativity. I would give it a 5 for creativity. I would give it a 5 for shock factor because that show had my jaw on the ground.
Comedy is a 5.
Like that, like I'm pretty sure if you took a picture of me at any moment watching the show, my face was probably just like
I was like
the whole time like.
Or like,
what's happening?
Yeah.
Like, did that just happen? Like, is she about to? Oh no! Wait, what? Like, so many emotions happened in my face. Like you when you go and text me, it was like I have so many emotions.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll take you.
Because it's like the show leads you down one path. And then it's kind of like, you're going down this path and it's kind of like a little divot in the woods. It's kind of like they just took you in the woods real quick.
And you get somewhere and you're like, how did you get here?
Right. And I was just like, hold up, let me check my GPS because I don't know how I got here.
I feel like every time I was texting you guys, oh my god, this happened. Oh my god.
Yes.
Oh my god, what's happening? Oh my god.
So it was a lot.
Yeah, if you're looking for something to binge watch, it's only 12 episodes, it's only 1 season, so I definitely would recommend it just to see how you
12
react
episodes,
to it.
not seasons.
Oh yeah, 12 episodes. Just to see how people are gonna react to it. And I would be curious to know down below in the comments like what you think as far as whether or not some of the jokes were inappropriate or if they're totally okay, if we're being too sensitive, as a society right now. I'm very curious. I feel like not enough people are talking about the jokes and all that kind of stuff. Like I want to know what people are thinking about this show in terms of whether or not it's PC enough.
They took it too far.
But for the world we live in today. Because I feel like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, it'd been like, well, why are we even having this conversation? But today, it's like I'm very curious to know what the consensus is or like what people think about the content in the show.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that's the episode. Hope you guys really enjoyed it. Please make sure you give it a thumbs up if you really liked it. And make sure you subscribe.
Yes, hit that subscribe button so you can see more videos from us every Sunday at 12.
Yeah. Comment down below. Bye.